welcome to today's practice. To begin, let's get settled into a comfortable seat. You can have your hips elevated, or you can have your seat on your mat or your ground. You can also lean up against a wall or a couch or chair if you prefer. We'll be here for the first few minutes, sitting in awareness of our bodies, awareness of our mind, feelings, senses, and space. So once you've got your comfortable seat, make sure your spine is nice and tall, your collarbone is wide. Your spine is tall and strong, yet the rest of your body just kind of settles down and around in a relaxed state. Your eyes can be gently closed or your gaze down and in front of you. Your hands either placed somewhere on your lap or legs or alongside your body. You can also always place your hands as anchors, usually on the belly or your heart. And begin to breathe a little deeper than perhaps you were a minute ago. And from this comfortable seat, from this aware seat, we will watch. We will try to sit still, to listen and observe. And when I say that, I don't mean that we won't hear things or sense things or think things, because we will. That's what our body, senses, and mind are here to do. So these things can come. They can be awarenesses. They can be notes. But we're going to choose to come right back and not be distracted. So right now I hear a fly. I hear a fly buzzing in my yoga room, and I hear it. I'm not going to do anything about it right now, and I don't need to let it take me out of this session. So perhaps you hear or smell or sense or think something. No, that's normal. But right here, right now, we're going to try to choose to not be distracted. And if we're distracted again, we simply come back over and over and over again. Check in again with your body. Make sure your spine is nice and tall. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your collarbone is wide. And your breath is nice and slow and deep. You are aware and present. As you're ready, you're going to just start to sway a little left and right, rock. You can do this in a really slow way, or you can rock a little bit faster. If you want to start to rock forward and back, you can do that as well. or more in a circular motion. You can let your spine be a little more fluid here. It doesn't have to be straight and long. Your eyes can be open or closed. Start to add in some neck rolls. Maybe stretch your arms up tall and add in some side body stretches here. Then you're going to make your way off of your seat and onto your back. We're going to move into a reclined butterfly here. Reclined butterfly. Tip your shoulders underneath you so that your heart and your collarbone can be nice and wide. You can let your eyes be gently closed or set your gaze. Really try to release your knees, to release your hips, rather than force them down. You let gravity start to take over. Tap into your deep, full breathing. And then slowly start to bring your knees close to touching. And then take your legs straight up, just like you're gonna go into legs up the wall. But we're just gonna pause here. And then nice and gentle, you're gonna let your right leg come down towards your mat. And then you'll bring it back up. And then the left side. So we're just doing some really nice, slow, one-legged leg raises here. See if you can keep your feet flexed. You don't have to be super active, but flexed. Just move with your breath. Both feet back up to center. And now you're going to take your feet nice and wide, left and right. Take a nice deep breath in. Let that breath out. Again, big breath in. And as you exhale, you'll bring your feet to touch above, like you're standing on the ceiling. As you breathe in, you'll go nice and wide. As you exhale, you'll come back together. So just nice and slow. We're just really waking up our body, waking up our core and our legs. One more time. Back to center. Bring your knees to your chest and your feet down to the ground. Then we're gonna do some really nice and slow dynamic movement within a bridge. So first you set your feet up close to your heels, knees straight forward on your mat. You can tuck your shoulders under. And then with an inhale, you'll lift up. And with an exhale, you'll just gently drop back down. But it's just kind of a touch down, it's not a full release. So as you inhale, you'll press your hips up, your heart open. And then a slow release as you exhale, a tap down, and then a lift again. Let's do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And all the way down to full release. Exhale. Then rock up to a seat. And take a seated forward fold. So both legs are straight out. And then your upper body grows tall and forward. So you're just gonna let your body land where it lands. But then use your inhales to lengthen your spine longer. And your exhales to drop you deeper. Continue with that action. One more big breath in. Get it all out. Come up tall. And seated tree, left leg bent first. As you're ready, you can start to lean forward over your extended leg. Same thing as before, your exhales drop you down deeper, your inhales lengthen you out. As you're ready, come on up tall. You're gonna take your left hand behind you and your right arm up with you and your hips as you go into Stargazer. Slowly come on down. Switch your seated tree, left leg long, right leg bent. And lean forward when you're ready. The mindful eye, you find space, and you drop in. And Stargazer, this time your right hand back, your left arm comes up with your hips. Big open heart. One more breath. Slowly back to your seat. And then we'll seated wide leg fold. You can come straight forward and down, or if you'd like to go to one side for a few breaths, and then the other, before you come to center, you can also do that. I find that when I do that, I can go a little deeper in my wide leg fold. You may find that too, I don't know. Always worth a try. And then slowly back up. You're gonna come into a seated butterfly, so soles of your feet together, knees out wide. You can have your feet pretty far away from your groin, or you can have them nice and tight in. That's totally up to you. I like to hold on to my feet, grow long first, and then drop down. Sometimes it's nice even to give yourself a little foot rub, a little tension release through your toes, your heel, your center foot. Come up to a tall spine. You're gonna go straight from here into a half pigeon. So let's start with the left side. So your left leg can start to scoot forward on your mat. Right leg comes behind. You'll land down nice and slow. Done quite a bit of hips already, but always nice and slow into these first hip openers. We'll again be here for a few moments, so this is a great time to tap right back in to be the observer, be aware, notice, and then choose to not be distracted. Your breath is still nice and long, deep and free. And as you're ready, switch sides. Never rushed. Take your time. Remember to set this up in a way that works for your body right now. You can come up tall in your arms. You're gonna move into a tabletop. So hands and knees. Go ahead and lift your right leg straight up and back. You're gonna take your leg way out to the right and then start to shift your hips back towards your left heel. Let your upper body come down and be restful as you stretch your hip open. Slowly come back up. Back to your table. Left leg straight out and back. Way out to the left. And shift your hips back towards your right heel. Working to be restful around a hip opener. Gentle with your body. Gentle with your breath. Slowly come back to your table. Take a couple rounds of cat and cow pose to open up your spine a little bit more. Come back to a neutral table and slowly down onto your belly. You can take your arms, extend them back, set up for a locust here. Take a nice deep breath first. Get all that out. Then rise up for your locust. And stay and breathe. One more big one. And slowly down for rest. Set yourself up for another locust. Here we go, lift up and stay. One more. Come down and rest. As you're ready, you can press up to tall arms and back into a child's pose. Knees nice and wide. Arms forward. You're going to take your right arm And thread it under your left arm for a thread the needle. Once there, you can rest down. And breathe nice and big and deep. We're working to open the space in our upper back. Slowly come back through to switch. Come on back through, center, and down. Start to come up to a seat. Bring your knees close together to touch. And we're going to move into a camel pose. So for camel, I like to rise up into my camel rather than drop back. But if you're a person that really prefers to drop back and down, you can do that here. It's also nice to have a block or two handy just in case you'd like a little support when you come up. Here we go. With a big inhale, you can lift your hips up and forward. And your hands can go to your heels. You can use a block under one hand and take this one at a time. If you'd like to. Hearts open, hips forward. One more breath. And then slowly down. Simple hero's pose. Hands at your thighs, palms down, gaze forward or eyes at rest. We'll do two more. So as you're ready, go ahead and come back up and into your camel. One-sided if you'd like, or both-sided. One more breath. Slowly down. Gentle heroes. We've got one more camel to do. So as you're ready, come on up. For 3, 2, and 1. Gently down. Hero's pose. You're going to start to extend your left leg out straight, but your right leg is going to stay in this hero. So you'll just kind of turn your leg out and forward. This is a great place to put a block underneath your left hip. And then what we're in here is like a half splits, half heroes pose. So if you'd like to stay right here, you'll just start to lean forward and extend over your left leg. Start to reach out for your calf or your toes. You can also turn this into a full half splits. And then if you do that, you'll start to come up on your back knee. Take that further back. And start to straighten through your front leg up onto your heel. So basically you're working your back leg to stack your hip over your knee and your front leg to extend out straight your heart over your front knee. So your choice, you can keep this in a seated posture or bring your hips elevated a bit. And stay and breathe. Once you're ready, you're gonna switch sides. So depending on what posture you're in, you might come out of this a little differently. But basically, you just have to switch to the other side. Not really a right or wrong way to get there. Once you're ready to, you're gonna come out of this posture and into a knee pile. So it doesn't really matter which knee is on top. I like to start kind of sitting up and then drop down. But you'll cross your knees and then you'll sit between your heels. You're working to stack one knee on top of the other, or somewhere in that vicinity. It can also be nice to sit on a block here. So if you do have a block or a bolster and you want to throw that right under your hips, you can do that. This is another great place to just kind of give yourself a little foot massage or ankle. And then depending on how much you feel this in this position, you can stay tall or you can start to lean forward. And then you can go the other way. So the switch sides. Like I said, for me, rather than just switching, I like to lift my hips up, cross my knees, and then sit back down. Just gives me a little more access to knee pile as a posture. So I come up, cross my knees, and then sit down. But you may have more flexibility than me, and you might be able just to switcheroo. Or you may have less flexibility than me, and you need to modify a little bit more. It's your practice, it's always your practice. Tune in, check in, be aware of what your body, your mind, your breath need, and honor that. and come on out of this. We're gonna go into a supported fish pose. So if you do have a block, blanket, or bolster, you're gonna go ahead and place that towards the top of your mat, and you have two options. You can have it the same plane as your mat, so long sides and short sides the same as your mat, or you can have it sideways, left and right, opposite here. You can also go a little bit taller if you're using a block and go up to the side if you'd like. So kind of play around with that, or use a bolster or blanket or pillow or anything you have around you, a sweatshirt, just to elevate your heart and support it a little bit as you go into this fish. So legs either straight or butterfly. Then you start to lean back. You're gonna use your block as support right underneath your heart space. So if you have it vertical or horizontal, just kind of feel that out. See if that's comfortable for you. If you're like, not so much, then go ahead and switch it the other way and try that out. If it's not enough height, then you can go to the taller option. And if you're a person that practices fish all the time and you'd like to take a more traditional fish here, you can also do that. We'll be here for a few minutes, a couple minutes. So make sure you set it up in a way that's really supportive and relaxing. Make sure you're able to breathe big and free. If you're not able to breathe in an open way, then come out, change the support below you, and reset. We want a supported heart, back, and throat opener here. You're ready to move out of this posture. Slowly come up and remove the block from underneath you, the blanket, the bolster, the prop. And slowly come back down into a full release, a full savasana. Nothing to do, nowhere to go or be, just rest and receive. as you're ready, you can begin to move around a bit more. And make your way up to a comfortable seat. Unrushed. Once there, make sure you're cozy. You've got a nice tall spine, relaxed eyes, relaxed face, relaxed shoulders, open heart. Take another moment to be still, to be aware and observe what is happening inside and outside of you. I like to place a hand on my heart and the other right on top of it. You can do that as well, or choose another hand placement that works better for you. And with gratitude for your body, for your breath, for your practice, with gratitude for space and awareness, with gratitude for still and mobile, and with gratitude for anything else you're particularly grateful for today. You can now seal your practice in your way. Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thanks for taking time out of your day to practice. Share with your friends, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.